Join me as I dive into the challenge of exploring how God's kindness can completely transform my life and maybe yours too. God's kindness is a powerful force that can change our lives in ways we never thought possible. It's a transformative power that can turn our darkest moments into opportunities for growth, healing, and redemption. Today, we're going to dive into the incredible impact of God's kindness and how it can forever alter the course of our lives. We've all been there, stuck in a place of loneliness, feeling lost and alone, desperate for someone to reach out and offer a helping hand. Or maybe we've faced despair, feeling like we're drowning in a sea of uncertainty, with no clear direction or purpose. Perhaps we've struggled with feelings of unworthiness, like we're not good enough, smart enough, or talented enough to make a difference in this world. Whatever the struggle may be, it's easy to get stuck in a cycle of hopelessness, feeling like there's no way out. But I want you to know that you're not alone. We've all been there at some point or another, and it's in those darkest moments that we need God's kindness the most. It's the kindness that reminds us that we're seen, we're heard, and we're loved no matter what. It's the kindness that gives us hope, that lifts our heads, and that sets our hearts ablaze with purpose. We may feel like we're walking through the wilderness, with no clear direction or guidance, but God's kindness is the pillar of fire that guides us through the darkest night. It's the kindness that reminds us that we're not defined by our past, but by the incredible potential that lies within us. And it's the kindness that gives us the courage to keep moving forward, even when the road ahead seems uncertain. I want to share with you some incredible stories of people whose lives were forever changed by God's kindness. These are stories of struggle, of heartache, and of desperation, but they're also stories of hope, of redemption, and of transformation. They're stories that will inspire you, encourage you, and remind you that no matter what you're facing, God's kindness can make a difference. One of my favorite stories is about a young woman named Sarah. Sarah grew up in a troubled home with parents who struggled with addiction and poverty. She felt like she was always on her own, like she was the adult in the room, even as a child. But one day she met a kind-hearted woman who took her under her wing and showed her what it means to be loved and cared for. That one act of kindness changed the entire trajectory of Sarah's life, giving her the courage to pursue her dreams and break free from the cycles of poverty and addiction. Another story that inspires me is about a man named John. John was a successful businessman who had it all: wealth, status, and power. But despite his outward success, he felt empty and unfulfilled on the inside. He felt like he was living a life that wasn't truly his, and that he was just going through the motions. But then he met a pastor who showed him the kindness of God, and that encounter changed everything. John began to pursue a life of purpose and meaning, using his wealth and influence to make a difference in his community. These stories, and many more like them, are a testament to the transformative power of God's kindness. They remind us that no matter what we're facing, no matter how dark our circumstances may seem, God's kindness can make a difference. It's the kindness that gives us hope, that lifts our heads, and that sets our hearts ablaze with purpose. In each of these stories, there was a pivotal moment when God's kindness made a profound impact. It was the moment when Sarah met that kind-hearted woman, when John met that pastor, and when they both encountered the unconditional love of God. It was the moment when they realized that they weren't alone, that they weren't defined by their past, and that they had a purpose that went beyond their current circumstances. That moment of encounter with God's kindness is what changed their lives forever. It's what gave them the courage to pursue their dreams, to take risks, and to make a difference in the world. And it's what can change our lives forever, too. When we encounter God's kindness, we're reminded that we're not alone, that we're loved, and that we have a purpose that's bigger than ourselves. So what can we take away from these stories? What can we learn from the transformative power of God's kindness? First, we can learn that God's kindness is always available to us, no matter what we're facing. Second, we can learn that it's the kindness of God that gives us hope, lifts our heads, and sets our hearts ablaze with purpose. And third, we can learn that it's the kindness of God that sets us free from the cycles of fear, doubt, and uncertainty. And that gives us the courage to pursue our dreams and make a difference in the world. As we close this video, I want to leave you with a challenge. I want to encourage you to share your own stories of God's kindness in the comments below. How has God's kindness made a difference in your life? What struggles have you faced, and how has God's kindness helped you overcome them? By sharing our stories, we can inspire and encourage one another, and we can remind each other that God's kindness can change our lives forever. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.